Hello and welcome to NDTV 24/7. I'm Rohit Wellington. Let's begin with our top story. Inflation based on wholesale prices hit an all-time high of 12.9% in May. This on the back of higher fuel and edible oil prices. The retail inflation has also hit a 6-month high. Fuel prices are at historic highs in many cities, and all this is impacting your budget. NDTV's bureaus report.
Wholesale inflation has hit an all-time high of 12.9%. The government says this is an anomaly due to a low base effect. However, retail inflation has also jumped to a 6-month high of 6.3%. Wholesale inflation has been pushed up by fuel prices going up 37.6%, edible oil up nearly 50%. Meanwhile, overall wholesale food inflation has moderated to 4.3% from 4.9% in April. But this level of inflation is hurting household budgets across the country. With tighter budgets in the pandemic, the purchasing power for necessities such as edible oil is now a worry.
रिफाइंड हम लोग 70-80 रुपए का लाते थे, अभी 150 का हो गया, वो भी डबल दाम हो गया। तो क्या कर सकते हैं, हम लोग गरीब आदमी हैं, मेहनत करते हैं, कोठी में काम करते हैं, तो इतना तो बजट उठा नहीं सकते हम लोग।
Petrol above 102 rupees a litre in the financial capital of the country. Those resuming work with restrictions easing are now wondering how will they manage to afford daily commute.
पेट्रोल डीजल के दाम पे जो एक्सेस इतना लगा रखा है, उसमें पब्लिक को रियायत देना चाहिए। अदरवाइज जो है सारा अर्थव्यवस्था पहले से गड़बड़ है आदमी का, और गड़बड़ हो जाएगा।
सरकार का नियम ही है, सब चीज़ पे दाम जब काजी बोल जाता है, तेल महंगा हो गया, सरसों तेल 200 रुपये किलो, तब तो पेट्रोल ही है, आम आदमी को तो फर्क बहुत पड़ेगा।
And it doesn't just end there. The price of soaps for daily care and hygiene also has jumped by nearly 10%. With India's unemployment rate above 10% according to Centre for Monitoring Indian Economy, and with businesses trying to cut costs, household budgets are now getting tighter. Bureau Report, NDTV.
Shares of Adani Group stocks fell sharply on Monday after reports suggesting that accounts of 3 foreign portfolio investors that collectively have a major stakeholding were frozen by the National Securities Depository Limited. Adani Group has said that the reports are blatantly erroneous and is done to deliberately mislead the investing community.
These media reports of a freeze on 3 major stakeholders in one of India's biggest conglomerates sent shockwaves through the corporate world. By 3 p.m., the Adani Group issued a clarification saying the media reports are false and that the National Securities Depository Limited has clarified to them that as of June 14, the trading accounts of the 3 companies are not frozen. By the time the clarification came, Adani Group stocks fell sharply, losing over $6 billion in market cap by the time markets closed. Adani Enterprises closed 6% down. Adani Ports and Special Economic Zone closed over 8% down. Adani Power closed nearly 5% down. Adani Transmission also closed 5% down. Adani Green Energy closed 4% down, and Adani Total Gas closed 5% down. The website of NSDL showed that as of May 31, the accounts of the 3 foreign portfolio investors, Albula Investment Fund, Cresta Fund, and APMS Investment Fund, were frozen.
We reached out to NSDL, but NSDL did not reply as to why these accounts were frozen or if the freeze has been lifted as Adani claims. But according to media reports, the freeze could be because these 3 Mauritius-based companies did not comply by Know Your Customer norms.
These 3 accounts hold over 43,000 crore in Adani Enterprises, Adani Green Energy, Adani Transmission, and Adani Total Gas. As of March 31st, shareholding pattern of Adani Enterprises shows that of the 20% held by foreign portfolio investors, these 3 firms together hold about 6% stock. But the questions remain over their anecdotes. According to the Open Corporates website, a website that is a database of the corporate world, all 3 companies are Mauritius-based and have same addresses. In the past year, Adani stocks had drawn attention for massive jumps anywhere between 125% to over 1000%.
Although Adani issued a clarification regarding these FPI accounts, but one thing that cannot go unnoticed is the rise in the stock of this group company, taking the market cap as of Friday to 9.5 lakh crore, and this especially in the pandemic year. In Mumbai with camera person Dhanesh, this is Purva Chitnis for NDTV.
The other big story on the COVID vaccine front, Novavax has announced that its COVID vaccine is more than 90% effective, including against coronavirus variants. The announcement was made after a large-scale US study. The study involved nearly 30,000 people in the United States and Mexico. The company released results on Monday showing that the vaccine was 90% effective overall. Novavax has a tie-up with the Serum Institute of India. Vishnu Shom has more.
It's likely to be somewhat more expensive than Covishield, but that price hasn't been decided. There were some delays initially expected in its manufacture, but that's actually been sorted out by the US President Joe Biden. When the Serum Institute's Adar Poonawalla actually said that there were some delays as a result of raw materials not being provided by the United States, he was actually referring to this, to Novavax. So that's going to be manufactured over here, and it appears that in the third quarter alone, in other words, by the end of September, they will have had worldwide, and a large part of this is expected to be India, 10 crore doses. So this is going to actually come very soon. And the fact that this has been cleared means that as per the new rules in India, emergency use authorization can also actually take place in our country. So that's all good news, because just a few days back when the government listed a couple of vaccines, this was not listed. But with this clearance now in the United States, anticipated very soon, they will apply for EUA over here, and then manufacturing is all set up. It just needs to start in large numbers before it comes here. More vaccines means more people in our country can get vaccinated, and that is welcome news as we try and get all adults vaccinated by the month of December, the end of December.
Two opposition parties in Uttar Pradesh have accused the Ram Mandir Trust set up by the centre last year of pulling off an illicit land deal in Ayodhya. It involved two real estate dealers allegedly purchasing a property from an individual for 2 crore and then selling it in a matter of minutes to the trust for 18.5 crores. That's according to the allegation. The trust, however, says that all transactions have been made in a transparent manner.
This nondescript plot of land in Uttar Pradesh's temple town Ayodhya, 5 kilometers from the site of the proposed Ram temple, has become the center of big controversy. After allegations by opposition parties, the Samajwadi Party and the Aam Aadmi Party, that it was bought by the Ram Temple Trust at a massive overvaluation in March this year. So this land over here measures 12,080 square meters, and that is a big area. The allegation from the opposition is that this land here was brought by two property dealers from the original owners for just 2 crore rupees, and within a matter of minutes, just 15 minutes, it was transferred in a sale further ahead to the Ram Janmabhoomi Trust for a whopping 18 crore rupees. So that multi-fold increase in price is under question. The other interesting allegation, of course, is the fact that on both the agreements, the witnesses are same. These papers for the registered agreements for both transactions, released by a local Samajwadi Party leader and not denied by the Temple Trust, list Ayodhya Mayor and BJP leader Rishikesh Upadhyay and Ram Temple Trust member Dr. Anil Mishra as witnesses for both transactions. One between the property dealers and the first owner for 2 crores, and the other between the dealers and the Ram Temple Trust for 18 crores. Ayodhya's mayor claims he did no wrong by appearing as witness for both transactions.
ये राजनीति से प्रेरित है, ट्रस्ट क्लियर करेगा जिन लोगों ने दिया है। मैं तो मेयर के नाते लगभग जो भी मंदिर आए हैं उसमें मैं विटनेस करता हूं, और सब ऑनलाइन ट्रांजैक्शन ट्रस्ट करता है, तो उसमें कोई हेरा फेरी इस प्रकार करना उनकी बौखलाहट है। जो भ्रम फैलाया गया है वो दूर हो जाएगा।
Late last night, the Temple Trust put out a statement claiming the original buyers of the property dealers, had entered into an agreement with the owner years ago for the price applicable at that time. In March, they formalized it at the same rate and then sold the property to the Temple Trust at the current market price. A lock at the home of the original owner, and no explanation of how the difference between the two transactions carried out within minutes was a staggering 16 crore rupees.
हमको आरोप लगते ही रहते हैं। मैं 100 साल से आरोप ही देख रहे हैं हम लोग। हम पर महात्मा गांधी की हत्या के आरोप से हम चिंता नहीं करते।
At the residence of Ravi Tiwari, one of the brokers involved in both transactions, no word on his whereabouts.
आप क्या उनके बड़े भाई हैं? या छोटे? लेबर है सर। ये तिवारी जी भी प्रॉपर्टी का काम करते हैं। हमें मालूम नहीं। आपको नहीं मालूम?
So this is what happened when we went to one of the residences of one of the property dealers here. There was one gentleman here who simply left the home and escaped and did not tell us where this property dealer was. But one thing to note is that this property dealer lives very, very close to the residence of the Ayodhya mayor, Mr. Upadhyay, just about 100 or 200 meters. Of the two property dealers involved in these transactions, one of them is Mr. Sultan Ansari. This is his residence here in an area called Sutahati in Ayodhya. So we went inside and we asked his staff where he was, but they told us that he left home early in the morning for some property related work and he hasn't come back since. The Uttar Pradesh government only had this to say.
हाथ राम भक्तों के खून से रंगे हैं, सलाह ना दें। अगर कोई किसी ने भी गड़बड़ किया होगा, ट्रस्ट उसकी जांच करेगा और जो दोषी होंगे उनके खिलाफ कार्रवाई होगी।
But it's unclear how the trust will investigate its own alleged wrongdoing. In Ayodhya with Pramod Srivastava and camera person Vineet Verma, this is Alok Pandey, NDTV.
In some other news, leader of opposition in West Bengal, Suvendu Adhikari, met the governor at the Raj Bhavan with a delegation of BJP MLAs to, quote, apprise him of several inappropriate incidents happening in Bengal and to discuss other important matters. That's what they claim. But what drew everyone's attention is that out of 74 BJP MLAs, 50 turned up, leading to speculation that not all MLAs were ready to accept Suvendu Adhikari's leadership. The BJP says all is well, but sources say several MLAs are upset. Now, a video from Bengal's Birbhum town shows BJP workers sitting on dharna outside the TMC office seeking to return to the party. The workers can be seen holding placards that they want to return to Mamata Banerjee's party. They can be heard apologizing to Mamata Banerjee and appealing to her to take them back into the party. An overnight coup in Chirag Paswan's Lok Janshakti party led by his uncle has left him isolated at the top, with 5 of 6 MPs breaking away and writing to the Lok Sabha Speaker asking to be treated as a separate group. Here's a report on how it all unfolded. The family drama of the Paswans played out in public as Chirag Paswan, son of party founder Ram Vilas Paswan and current president of the Lok Janshakti party, met his uncle to save his party from splitting, but failed. 5 out of 6 MPs in the Lok Sabha, led by his uncle, have asked the Lok Sabha Speaker to be treated as a separate group. Chirag is the 6th MP.
6 सांसद हम लोग हैं। 5 सांसद की इच्छा थी 6 महीनों से कि हमारी पार्टी का अस्तित्व खत्म हो रहा है, ये पार्टी को अब बचा लीजिए। तो मैं पार्टी तोड़ा नहीं हूँ, मैं पार्टी को बचाया हूँ।
For Bihar Chief Minister, Chirag's crisis is revenge for breaking their alliance in the last year's election, effectively reducing the JDU to the 3rd position.
एक कहावत है, as you sow, so will you reap. जो बोइएगा मतलब काटिएगा।
Despite a compromise formula offered by Chirag Paswan, his uncle Pashupati Paras and other MPs are in no mood to grant any concession to him anymore. And it seems clear that if he wants to stay relevant in Bihar politics, Chirag Paswan will have to start from the scratch. With Rajiv Ranjan in Delhi, with cameraman Habib Ali, this is Manish Kumar for NDTV.
Time for a short break. Lots more on the other side. Stay with us. And finally, Ludhiana's Bhikki village of Payal constituency has become the first village in the state to vaccinate 100% of its population in the 18+ category. Here's a report.
As vaccine and testing hesitancy has been reported from multiple villages in Punjab, this village in Ludhiana district, Bhikki village, has achieved a unique feat. It's a story of collective efforts of healthcare workers, villagers, the village sarpanch, that the entire 18+ population has been inoculated with first dose.
As Gurnal Singh recalls, the last time he had a vaccine was of polio.
ठीक लगे जी बिल्कुल मैंने कोई बुखार नहीं होया कितने बारी लवाया 2 बार लवाया मैं कहूँ जी लवा लो औखे सौखे कोई गल नहीं कोई पैसा नहीं लगना कुछ नहीं लगना.
The 100% vaccination cover is largely thanks to these 5 healthcare workers. Besides motivating the rural population, they had to also fight out the social media misinformation.
थोड़ी पॉपुलेशन ऐदा भी सी जेड़े जिद्दां लाइक सोशल मीडिया ते काफ़ी ज़्यादा लोग प्रभावित होंदे ने भी ਉਹ ਕੋਈ ਕਹਿ ਰਿਹਾ ਵਾ ਵੀ ਇਸ ਨਾਲ ਡੈਥ ਹੋ ਜਾਏਗੀ ਤੇ ऐदा ਸਾਨੂੰ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਮੁਸ਼ਕਲਾਂ ਦਾ ਸਾਹਮਣਾ ਕਰਨਾ ਪਿਆ.
The population of Bhikki is 1700. 947 residents are above the age of 18 years. Except 18 pregnant women and some people unfit for vaccination due to health issues, all 905 eligible people have been vaccinated. The achievement of this village is now spreading far and wide, motivating even outsiders to come and get vaccinated.
ਰਾੜਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਤੋਂ ਆਏ
ਤੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਸ ਪਿੰਡ 'ਚ ਟੀਕਾ ਕਿਉਂ ਲਗਵਾਇਆ ਨਾ ਆਇਆ ਦੱਸੋ.
ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਇਸ ਪਿੰਡ 'ਚ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਇੰਜੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਲਗਵਾਇਆ ਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਸੁਜੈਸਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਉਰੇ.
The Chief Minister had announced that the villages which will go for full vaccination or achieves the 100% target of vaccination will be awarded 10 lakh rupees. Now hopefully the story of Bhikki village in Ludhiana will inspire the neighbouring districts, the neighbouring villages, and everybody will come out and go for vaccination. With Gurmeet in Ludhiana, Mohammad Ghazali for NDTV.
Well, that's a wrap on this bulletin from the entire team. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.